QBs Which 2018 prospect at best. By the time last year's captivating Rose Bowl duel between Penn State and Southern Cal had ended, the narrative of the 2017 offseason was set. This would be the year of the quarterback in college football. With a returning Heisman Trophy winner in Louisville's Lamar Jackson, USC's Sam Darnold, UCLA's Josh Rosen and several other high-ceiling prospects, quarterbacks were supposed to dominate the 2018 NFL draft conversation. That would be a turn from the 2017 draft, where just 6 quarterbacks ended up being picked in the first 3 rounds, and the group's top prospect Mitchell Trubisky had just 1 year of starting experience at North Carolina. But as the college season has played out, the 2018 quarterback crop has, predictably, been picked apart by scouts and executives. Even in a league starving for quarterback talent, just watch the games every Sunday, there's less excitement about this group than there was a year ago. It's a bit of a lackluster class, Eric Galko of Optimum Scouting said. More, NFL's best young QBs, rating passers from elite to subpar. More, 8 teams that Eli Manning could play for in 2018. More, Philip Rivers blasts New York Giants for benching Eli Manning. Here are the top quarterback prospects for the 2018 draft, broken down not by their NFL attributes, but rather what kind of season they've had this year in college. Though fewer people have paid attention this year for a variety of reasons, he's actually on track for a better season statistically than his Heisman campaign. Jackson's completion percentage is up, 56.2 to 60.4%, his yards per attempt is slightly up, 8.66 to 8.74, he's thrown 3 fewer interceptions on roughly the same number of attempts. Jackson also ended the regular season with 6 consecutive 100-plus yard rushing games. He's clearly grown as a player, and he was already outstanding. But as talented as he is, there isn't a lot of buzz right now that he'll be a top 15 pick. The likely Heisman winner, he has pretty much put the Sooners and their leaky defense on his back and willed them to an 11-1 record heading into the Big 12 title game. Mayfield's numbers have been incredible. 4,097 yards, 37 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He's much more than moxie, but there are some concerns for the next level. His size, 6'1", isn't ideal, though Russell Wilson has been a popular comparison for him in the NFL. But more important is how he comports himself. His penchant for being in the middle of admittedly petty controversies like planting the flag at Ohio State or joining with Kansas fans and making a lewd gesture will be endlessly scrutinized by NFL personnel types. For a variety of reasons, Rosen's college career never lived up to its potential from a team standpoint, which accounts for a significant part of why UCLA fired Jim Mora. Though there's perhaps a small chance Rosen will stick around for his senior year to play under Chip Kelly, it's hard to envision the best pure quarterback talent in the draft would pass up being a surefire top 10 pick. Rosen certainly has some things to work on, and some of his bad interceptions from his college career, and they're really bad, will be scrutinized. But when he has been good at UCLA, he has been really good. The chosen Rosen, as he is sometimes called, has incredible natural mechanics, flexibility, anticipation and zip on the ball, a lot of things you can't teach. And he's been productive, too, throwing for 400-plus yards 4 times, including against defenses with high-level athletes such as Texas A&M and USC. Is he going to come back to school for his senior year? There's legitimate buzz that he will, but it's hard to envision a likely first-round pick passing up the money. There's no doubt Darnold will need more development, whether with the Trojans or an NFL team. Part of the problem is the bar was set way too high. Darnold popped off the screen in the Rose Bowl, throwing for 453 yards and 5 touchdowns, igniting 8 months of crazy hype leading into the 2017 season. Though his mistakes have come down a bit late in the season, 9 interceptions in his first 6 games was a big red flag. The search for the next Carson Wentz led many scouts and reporters to Laramie this past off-season. Allen certainly looks the part at 6'5", 233 pounds, But his season has been a real disappointment from a statistical standpoint. The question for scouts will be how much of that has to do with the talent around him, which isn't good, or if his potential was just flat-out overrated. Allen didn't take advantage of a couple big stages early in the season against Iowa, 23 of 44 174 yards and 2 INTs, and Oregon, 9 of 24, 64 yards, 1 INT. He's been out of sight, out of mind since. But if he declares for the draft, his pro day and combined performance will be critical. Though he didn't turn into a Heisman candidate, he had a terrific season with 4,553 yards, 35 touchdowns, 9 INTs and a career-high 65% completion percentage. It looked as if he might have been banged up a bit in the middle of the year, as he struggled with accuracy and throwing the ball deep for a stretch. More so than Mayfield, Rudolph will check all the boxes from a physical standpoint at 6'5", 230 pounds. But he will be a divisive prospect because of his inconsistency and the fact he played in such a quarterback-friendly system with elite receivers. You can tell at times that he lacks experience. Every now and then, he'll succumb to bad footwork and make a terrible throw. But that's just part of the process for a guy who took a long road to Memphis, Tennessee, then junior college, before he got to play. Ferguson's raw tools are impressive, and he can make a lot of tough, rolling out, across-the-field type of throws that make you say wow when he completes them. The 6'4" Ferguson has thrown 64 touchdowns in just 2 seasons at Memphis and led the Tigers to a 10-1 regular season record heading into the AAC championship game. Noted NFL.com talent evaluator Daniel Jeremiah believes Falk is a potential first-round pick and future NFL starter. Falk doesn't have the biggest arm, but he's got good touch and a quick release. This hasn't been his best season with the Cougars, who finished 9th. In fact, he had a few duds, was benched for a bit and has had injury issues. He doesn't put up video game numbers, but there are some things to like about him, including composure in the pocket and good timing and accuracy when he throws down the field. He also didn't throw an interception in any of the Wolfpack's first 7 games and, for a bigger guy, does a really good job scrambling. Finley probably isn't a first or second round pick, but he earned some fans among NFL types this year. The buzz is that Thorson will enter the draft this year after a junior season in which he quarterbacked the Wildcats to a 9-3 record. Thorson is one of those guys scouts are enamored with because of his size, 6'4", 225 pounds, and athleticism, but the production hasn't quite lived up to the expectations. This season, he threw for a pedestrian 2,809 yards with 15 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. Follow Dan Woken on Twitter @DanWoken. Photos, Best NFL Celebrations.